Before we get started, we truly appreciate you taking the time to listen and join us on this journey. I'll never forget the day one of our early listeners emailed to say that an episode helped them navigate their transition into unschooling. It reminded me why we started this podcast in the first place, to share real stories that make a difference. If you've enjoyed what you heard and maybe even found it helpful like that listener did, we'd be incredibly grateful if you could leave us a quick rating and review on Apple Podcasts. It truly helps us reach more people like you. Also, don't forget to join our email list at theunschoolinglifestyle.com for exclusive updates, bonus content, and early access to new episodes. Thank you again from the bottom of our hearts, and let's dive in. Welcome to the Unschooling Lifestyle. On today's episode, I wanted to share a few tips for traveling, and hopefully they will help you thrive while traveling. We are approaching the end of 2025, and it's often the busiest season for travel because it is both families and business travelers, seasoned travelers. Everyone travels during the holidays. So if you don't know, I have been a flight attendant for almost 20 years, and I have described my life as consistently inconsistent. And yes, it's been an amazing journey, and I have learned a lot. Here are 3 things that I believe could help you if you are setting off to go on a trip with your children or you're thinking about world schooling. I find this to be really, really helpful and practical. So the number 1 tip is the airport is not a place for teachable moments. I cannot tell you how true this is, and I am not afraid to say it. I have been guilty of this. We often have higher expectations of our children when we travel because we are in public, in addition to the energy that being in a public space almost demands from parents, that children should be well behaved and all of that stuff. So if we could shift a little bit, instead of being a place where we are stressed out about how our children will behave, I would love to invite you to shift the perspective and see the airport as a place of wondering and as a place of curiosity, because there are so many pieces at the airport that could just be a conversation starter, like the stores, the people. They often have art exhibits. I mean, you name it, the chairs, the airplanes. You can take any piece of visual cue for you to start a conversation. So I would love to invite you to see the airport and enjoy the airport with your children as you navigate your travels, and see the airport also as part of your destination and not just a way to get to your destination. And through our world schooling journey, I have found that the airport often brings some of the deepest conversations that we have happened at the airport or while driving to a road trip. Take what resonates and leave the rest. My goal is for you to feel empowered to be out in the world in this heavy season of traveling and expectations, to just be yourself and enjoy your experience with your family, with your children, and definitely for yourself, because travel is for everyone and it's not just for the kids. So yeah, that's that. The airport is not a place for teachable moments. Enjoy it. The next tip is about family bonding. So what I have experienced and what I have seen is that most of the time, moms spend a lot of time with their children. So when they go on vacation or on a trip, and it is time for mom to take a break. So dad takes on the responsibility to kind of navigate the airport with the children. And then once they get on the airplane, the children will sit with dad. But what happens if they are really little, they just want to be with the people that they know the most, which is their mom. So the dad will be so uncomfortable because he doesn't know how to navigate both the heightened energy and this in this unfamiliar space for everyone, and try to give mom a break. So if I could, an invitation, definitely talk to your partner about how you can meet that expectation throughout the trip. The traveling portion, the airport, I find that it carries a lot of energy, and it's just really a dysregulated place for everyone. I think all of the adults that are around us at the airport are some sort of dysregulated, in the sense that they're really excited, they're really sad, they're really busy. Energy that naturally flows throughout the day, it is definitely heightened. So your children will probably pick up on that. So if you want to be completely have a travel or kid-free travel day, maybe choose a seat where you are completely separated so it removes the visual cue of having you around. Yes. So what I'm trying to say with this one is that, and it leads me to my third point, is to set expectations. If you are expecting some quiet time, which we all need, that mom and dad or caregiver, definitely speak to that ahead of time. Find out how your needs can be met throughout the trip and not just once you get to your destination. So you can also make the travel portion enjoyable. And that goes to my first invitation to really see the travel time as part of your trip as well. And I'll close up with this. I was on a layover a long time ago, and I remember it was a beach layover. So I carried my beach chair all the way to somewhere in Florida. And I had a very clear vision of what I wanted to do. I wanted to sit on my beach chair by the water, read my book, and have some coffee. That's what I wanted to do. And I carried that expectation for almost a day and a half, right? Or maybe longer because I had the trip for a couple of weeks. So when I finally got to do that, I saw a family with a little baby. Baby must have been 6, 7 months old, maybe. He was little. And mom's expectations were to sit by the beach with her baby, her husband, and her family and enjoy the view of the ocean and have the baby sit and play with the sand and have this quiet time. And lo and behold, the baby did not like the beach or the sand or anything about that experience. So, what I remember is that dad grabbed the baby and they walked towards the hotel, towards like the patio of the hotel. And I could see her standing there. And it was so clear to me that her vision, her expectations had not been met. And it reminded me because I have been through that too, where our expectations are so high and so different from what reality is that it truly changes our experience of the actual reality. So I felt bad for her. I really did because I had been there. When you're just so exhausted, you just want a moment of peace and quiet. I almost wanted to go to her and say, "Can I please watch your baby for a few minutes so you can go ahead and sit by yourself and just be at the beach?" But I knew that was in my place because she truly looked upset. So I didn't want to add to the madness. But this goes to say that if your expectations are to have a quiet time or a specific experience on a vacation, to really speak to your partner and to your children as to how that can happen because you are important. Everyone is important, so everyone's needs should be met. So if you are setting off on a trip, if you are starting to go on a world schooling journey, definitely have a thought about what those expectations or what your visions are as to what you want to get out of the trip. So that's it. I hope these tips really help you in your upcoming trip. And I hope you are encouraged to start a trip with your family if you haven't done so. World schooling is just a different way to experience and to learn from the world and the people that we have around us. Thank you so much for your time. I wish you a very, very safe and happy holidays. And please remember that your time is precious. I hope you're making it count. Take care.